Climate change is one of the most pressing issues facing our planet today. It is a global problem that affects everyone, regardless of where they live or what they do. In this video, we will explore what climate change is, its causes, and its effects. We will also discuss some of the ways we can address this problem and work towards a more sustainable future. Part 1. What is climate change? Climate change refers to the long-term changes in the Earth's climate, including changes in temperature, precipitation, and extreme weather events. The Earth's climate has been changing naturally for millions of years, but the current rate of change is unprecedented. The primary cause of climate change is the increase in greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, particularly carbon dioxide, CO2, from burning fossil fuels. Part 2. Causes of climate change. The primary cause of climate change is human activity, particularly the burning of fossil fuels like coal, oil, and gas. These activities release large amounts of carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases into the atmosphere, trapping heat and causing the planet to warm up. Deforestation, industrial processes, and agriculture are also significant contributors to greenhouse gas emissions. Part 3. Effects of climate change. Climate change has numerous effects on the planet, including rising sea levels, more frequent and intense heat waves, droughts, wildfires, floods, and hurricanes. These events can lead to loss of life and property damage, as well as the displacement of people and animals. Climate change also affects natural ecosystems and biodiversity, leading to the extinction of species and the loss of habitat. Part 4. Addressing climate change. Addressing climate change requires a coordinated effort from individuals, businesses, and governments around the world. We can reduce our greenhouse gas emissions by using clean energy sources like wind and solar power, promoting energy efficiency, and reducing waste. Governments can set targets for reducing emissions, provide incentives for clean energy, and invest in the research and development of new technologies. 5. Clean energy sources. One of the most effective ways to reduce greenhouse gas emissions is to switch to clean energy sources such as wind, solar, hydroelectric, and geothermal energy. These sources produce electricity without emitting carbon dioxide or other greenhouse gases. They are also becoming increasingly cost-competitive with traditional fossil fuels. Governments can incentivize the adoption of clean energy by providing subsidies or tax credits for renewable energy projects. In addition, individuals and businesses can install solar panels, wind turbines, or other renewable energy systems on their properties to reduce their reliance on fossil fuels. Part 6. Energy efficiency. Another important aspect of addressing climate change is improving energy efficiency. This involves using less energy to accomplish the same tasks, which reduces the amount of energy that needs to be generated from fossil fuels. Simple actions like turning off lights and appliances when not in use, using energy-efficient light bulbs, and properly insulating buildings can all help reduce energy consumption. Governments can also promote energy efficiency through building codes and regulations that require existing buildings to meet certain energy efficiency standards. In addition, businesses can implement energy management systems and conduct energy audits to identify areas where they can reduce energy use. Part 7. Reducing waste. Reducing waste is another way to address climate change. Landfills produce methane, a potent greenhouse gas that is 25 times more powerful than carbon dioxide. By decreasing the amount of waste we produce and increasing recycling and composting, we can reduce methane emissions. In addition, we can reduce the amount of energy needed to extract and process raw materials. Governments can promote waste reduction through policies such as recycling mandates, bans on single-use plastics, and extended producer responsibility. Businesses can also take steps to reduce waste by using sustainable packaging, implementing circular economy principles, and reducing food waste. Part 8. Adapting to climate change. While it is important to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and work towards mitigating climate change, it is also imperative to adapt to the changes that are already happening. Climate change is already affecting our communities, and we need to be prepared for its impacts. Adaptation measures can include things like building seawalls to protect against rising sea levels, improving water management systems to deal with droughts and floods, and developing heat wave response plans. These measures can help protect people, infrastructure, and ecosystems from the impacts of climate change. Part 9. International cooperation. Addressing climate change is a global issue, and it requires international cooperation and collaboration. The United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, UNFCCC, was established in 1992 to promote international cooperation on climate change issues. The Paris Agreement, adopted in 2015, set a goal of limiting global temperature increase to well below 2 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels and pursuing efforts to limit temperature increase to 1.5 degrees Celsius. Countries are required to submit national climate action plans, known as Nationally Determined Contributions, NDCs, which outline their efforts to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and adapt to the impacts of climate change. International cooperation is critical to ensuring that all countries are taking meaningful action to address climate change. Part 10. Individual action. While governments and businesses play an important role in addressing climate change, individual action is also crucial. Small actions like driving less, eating less meat, and reducing energy consumption can all have a meaningful impact on reducing greenhouse gas emissions. In addition, individuals can also advocate for policies and practices that address climate change, and support businesses that prioritize sustainability. By working together and taking individual action, we can create a more sustainable and resilient world. Conclusion. Climate change is one of the greatest challenges facing our planet, and it requires action at all levels. By reducing greenhouse gas emissions, promoting clean energy, improving energy efficiency, reducing waste, adapting to the impacts of climate change, and working together at the international and individual level, we can create a more sustainable future. The time to act is now, and it is up to all of us to take action and protect our planet.